Update time. Did Friday the 13th end up holding the curse of Friday the 13th where work was concerned? Ooh, you're gonna have to watch the video to find out. Although, if you click this, obviously that's why you're here, so. Sippy sippy first. So I forget where my last update cut off, but regardless, most of the week was pretty uneventful, but, Friday the 13th rolled along. And I was like, generally, I don't really believe or buy into Friday the 13th being unlucky. Ever since I was a little kid and I used to buy into it. And I mentioned it to my grandma one time, she's like, well, I don't believe in that. It wasn't very unlucky for me. I was born on a Friday the 13th, and I think that's pretty lucky. I like that. I like that way of looking at that, and ever since then I've not viewed it as unlucky, and I've generally not had bad stuff happen on Friday the 13th. Now, Saturday the 14th. Those are usually another story for me, but Friday the 13th usually aren't too harsh for me. Can't speak for anyone else, but just for me, it's probably all about the way you perceive things happening, and like any little misstep you probably chalk up to Friday the 13th, but like really though, superstition. Anyway, so I had to work early on Friday the 13th. That shit sucked. I started at 8. That is the earliest shift I've had yet, and while I am Little Miss Let's Wake Up at 2 or 3 a.m. every morning for no good reason, just because I can, still doesn't mean I want to start work at 8 in the fucking morning. That feels a little too much like school, and fuck that. Yet, yeah, I wasn't even supposed to be working Friday. I was supposed to have Friday off. So that kind of threw a whole wrench in my work of plans, but oh well. Doesn't matter. It's more hours. I did request more hours. They gave me more hours. One of our main dudes broke his arm, so now it's all hands on deck to make up for it. That's okay. I am happily taking more hours, because I did say I would like to have at least bare minimum 25, but I'd also like to aim for 30 if it's doable. This coming week, Jesus Christ, I'm getting that, so not sure how my feet feel about that, but the rest of me is like, hell yeah, bring it. But anyway, so I get there. I don't know, I knew something was off the minute I got there. There was no music on, which, even before the store opens, usually there's something on, but it was just quiet. The main boss was nowhere to be found. Everything, the only couple people who were there were just speaking very hush-hush amongst themselves. I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, something is up. I don't know what it is. And of course, I'm leery thinking, because I'm a paranoid little shit, that, crap, they're about to fire me, aren't they? I don't know why they would fire me, but they're about to fire me, aren't they? That's why they're acting weird. No, by the way, they weren't doing that. But didn't stop my paranoia any for like the first half of the day till I found out what was going on, which I'll get to, but it just seemed very weird, and I just instinctively knew something's up. Regardless, I had to like go do the usual stuff, go put up the umbrellas outside, wash down the tables, wash the windows, come back inside, stock all the food, clean the dough press, all the usual shit. Fine. Not a problem. As they were starting to teach me how to fill the sauce bottles, which sounds straightforward, but it's fucking not when you're trying to do it out of pouches that are huge and half frozen. As they're doing that, because it was so quiet, I was starting to, clue into the conversation going on in the other room. As hushed as they were, I apparently have really good hearing when it comes to shit like this. Figures, when it comes to things like taking orders, I can't hear for fuck, but when it comes to hearing something that's going on in another room that I'm not supposed to hear, magically my ears can pick up on that shit like a Doberman. But anyway, I'll still come to that, but I was starting to get little glimpses of... I heard mention of the C word. I heard mention of COVID. And I was like, who the fuck has it? Regardless, I'm not supposed to know. So I was sitting there, still going about my business, not making a peep about it, just keeping it under my hat that I overheard that. And somebody mentioned, oh yeah, schedules went up today. And then, oh, cool. By the way, you can take your break real early today. And this was like maybe barely 10 a.m. at this point. I was on till 4. So the fact that they gave me my lunch break at 10 a.m. also struck me as what the fuck is going on. But I wasn't gonna rock the boat, but okay, fine. That means I can go get my phone. That means I can look at the schedule and see what I got, and I'm hoping like hell that I'm not just missing from it. But no, I look at it and cool, I have like 30 hours. Like, it said 29 and a half off to the side, but when I counted it manually, it's 30. It's 30, so awesome. So I'm all jazzed with that. I'm all jazzed looking at the 2 days that I've got off, and one of them is Thursday, which means I can go to the Michael J. Fox virtual event and everything, and nobody can make me work that night. Fuck that. And I'm mentioning to the lady that was in charge of scheduling how happy I was that I just happened to have that off because of that. She's like, you totally could have requested a day off. I'm like, oh, dude, that's not, like, worthy of requesting a day off over for something that's probably only, like, a couple hours long, first off, but it was one of those things where if I happened to be off, I'd buy a ticket. If I happen to be working, I will happily take my hours and do them and get one of my friends to, ask my questions for me during the event that I would have and call it a day and watch the replay after. I mean, it's win-win either way. She's like, I guess that's a good way of looking at it. But, yeah, for future reference, if you ever, have something you want to do, on a specific day, as long as it's before I've worked up the schedule, just let me know. I can, give you a day off on a specific day. I'm like, well, that's cool to know. But, yeah, this was not something worthy of that. If it were a Paul McCartney thing, might be different. But anyway, anyways. So I'm still, trying to play dumb. I definitely, totally did not hear them mention somebody having fucking COVID. And I'm just going about my merry way, but, keeping one ear out, non-stop the whole time now that I'm on my break. I'm sitting there on Twitter, but not really paying attention to anything actually on my phone other than, buying that ticket. I'm just like, oh my god, who the fuck is it that has it? Is it the boss? Is that why he's not here? Oh my god. And I found out shortly after I got back from my break, I think there was, one other person who'd come in to start their shift by this point, and the other girl was, talking all very hush-hush with him, because I guess he's trustworthy, and I'm not. And I was over here, do you know where he actually is today? He's working at one of the other locations. He's helping deep clean the place because somebody had COVID. They came in anyway. So, okay, at least it wasn't our location. Thank God. I'm not going to mention which location it was, just because I'm not even supposed to know this info, much less should I be spreading the specifics, but apparently he went to help deep clean the place. Which, initially, alright, fine. I just accepted that and was still pretending I totally didn't hear it. Was totally still playing dumb. But the more I thought about it all day, the more I started to obsess over the fact that, wait, if the boss is in a location where somebody had that and he's helping deep clean because the place got shut down over it, that means the virus is there. That means he is now exposed to it. That means he'll be coming back here tomorrow and bringing that in on him. How much danger am I at? And I was still trying to just keep my fucking mouth shut, not say a word, but you know me and my anxiety. That shit was not gonna hold. It held a lot longer than I thought I'd be able to hold it together for. But right before the end of my shift, I couldn't hold it back. I took our assistant manager aside, to make sure it was out of earshot of any customers, out of earshot of any other workers. It's I know I'm not supposed to know about where da-da-da is today, but I may have accidentally overheard you say it, and I want to know, what kind of danger am I actually at because of it, and explain the situation with my mom's health and with my health and how high risk we both are if either one of us should ever catch that. And she pretty much tried to explain that he's like the last person who'd ever want to catch it because his wife could literally die from it because she has pulmonary fibrosis, which, I mean, I already knew that, but I suppose that is a good reminder that, yeah, he wouldn't be doing this if he thought realistically he'd be picking it up from doing it. And so if I have more questions, I should really talk to him about it. Here's his cell phone number, and I had intentions of calling him that night to ask about it, and then I pussied out, and I couldn't do it. I could not bring myself to do it, especially because I wasn't supposed to know about it in the first place. Could not bring myself to do it. So the following morning, Saturday the 14th, now I'm all tweaked out thinking I know how Saturday the 14th go for me. This is gonna be the day I contracted, isn't it? This is gonna be what fucking happens. This is gonna be my curse, right? This is gonna be what happens. Oh my god. As far as I know, knock wood, that didn't happen. But God, my anxiety would not let go of that. Like, I was dragging my feet all morning. I was like half debating just not going at all. And my dad talked me into going, saying that, yeah, no, he wouldn't be putting your entire workplace at risk on purpose. He wouldn't be doing it if he thought that he were going to catch it or track it anywhere. This, that, and the other was, like, talking me down, basically the same way that the assistant manager did. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, if my dad, who is paranoid as fuck about anybody bringing anything into this house, thinks it's safe enough for me to go to work, I guess I'll go to work. Although I was kind of definitely a little bit late on purpose, which nobody said a peep about, by the way, but I noticed he was super evasive all morning when it was just me there, and kept, like, dodging me, which tells me, the assistant manager definitely probably said something that she knows where you were, and she's freaked the fuck out. Awesome. So yeah, he was keeping a distance and, like, not saying a peep, and I was still trying to play dumb, like, totally don't know anything, and just kind of went on autopilot about the morning stuff that I know we have to do every morning if you're there that early. So at this point, I've been there enough early shifts to generally have the gist of what you do in the morning at that time without having to be told. So that worked out fine, and even when he finally did say something, he did comment on that you're doing a really good job with that. I didn't even have to ask you. I was like, yeah, I think at this point I kind of got a feel for it. I mean, if there's anything else you want me to do, just let me know. But I didn't want to bug you. I figured if I already know, there's no reason to bug you asking what I already know. He's like, okay, well, you're doing a good job with it. So that was pretty much it for a while. It wasn't until there was, like, another worker there who was working the ovens, and I was, again, filling those fucking bottles with even more frozen sauce this time that I was, like, having to crush up in my hands. By the way, white sauce should never feel like a slushie. Just for that disgusting mental image. You're welcome. You're welcome. I had to suffer it, you have to suffer it. Anyway, neither should pesto for that matter. Or barbecue sauce. That was the one that got Kimmy when I was telling her about this last night. She looked like she was gonna throw up just, like, imagining that. Like, oh, it was so gross. Like, in a pouch, I'm squeezing it like I'm milking a cow, and it's coming out like Slurpee consistency. Ooh, gross. Why the fuck was barbecue sauce in her freezer? If it's still sealed, it doesn't need to be refrigerated yet, much less frozen. I don't understand. But anyway, I wasn't gonna complain. I was just like, nope, keep the peace. Play dumb, keep the peace. So he's casually making small talk with the dude on the oven, as if the dude on the oven knew where he was. Or maybe he knew that this dude wouldn't care. I don't know. He's talking about how they deep cleaned everything when he got home. First thing he did was leave his shoes in the garage, throw all his clothes straight in the washing machine, took like 2 showers in a row, and that his wife appreciated that. And when I mentioned this to my dad, like when I was in the car, he's like, yeah, he probably made a point of saying that in your earshot for your benefit too. I'm like, that, given how he was acting before that, you might be right. You might be right. But I still was trying to play dumb and as if this was totally the first I was hearing of all this, but still made no point of asking any questions like, how much danger are we really in? Because I'm figuring, if he's going to those lengths to make sure his wife's safe, he's not going to do anything to make us be unsafe. So the only thing that makes me iffy is the shoes. Because I don't know if he washed the shoes. So he could be tracking that shit through our location. Great. Anyways, I'm hoping that it's fairly lowish risk anyway, but ooh, yeah, still a very unsettling feeling. Still probably gonna be tweaked for like the next 2 weeks, and as long as nothing happens in those 2 weeks, I'll finally be able to breathe a sigh of relief. But he was mentioning to the other guy that, this isn't the first time this happens, and I'm sure it won't be the last, so, which may have also been said for my benefit to hear that this isn't the first time it happened and nobody at our location got sick for it, so all I can do is hope and pray, and try to not do anything stupid, but ooh, yeah. I noticed it was not until after he had that conversation that suddenly he was acting more normal-ish around me, but was still keeping more of a distance than he normally would. So I'm like, yeah, the other chick definitely said something, but okay. If he wants to keep distance while he's, 2 weeks in on this, that's fine. Not gonna complain. You do you, I'll do me, that's fine, but anyway, it's still super uncomfy, but I mean, the first thing I do when I get home, I change out those fucking clothes, and I get in the shower too, and I stayed in there a long time, but I stayed there extra long last night, because, not taking any chances after that, but yeah, trying to keep my anxiety in check on this one, and not just go off, is a challenge, which I'm sure I don't need to tell you, because you guys know how I am with that, but, definitely a challenge. Definitely glad today's shift is a shorter one. It's only 5 hours instead of like the 8-hour ones that I've been accustomed to in this past week. But I'm just telling myself, hey, they may have been long ass shifts. Look how many hours that was all together. Look at the money you're gonna get when you get your payday next week. Yeah, I'm gonna finally be able to start paying off the Etsy debts properly. I don't know if this one check will be enough to cover all of them. But it should be at least a nice chunk into them. So, within 2 checks, hopefully that'll be enough. I'm not sure. If it carries over into 3, that would definitely do it. So, because I think at this point there's 123 orders still open. Not all of them are requesting refunds, just most of them. But, trying to mitigate the ones that don't want them and keep them not wanting refunds, but yeah, at least 100 of those want their money back. So I'm like, it's a lot of money, but I'm doing my best here to earn it, to pay it down, but I can only go so fast and only earn so much, but yeah, at least I'm paid every 2 weeks instead of just once a month and having to go from there, but yeah, it has been an experience, and definitely one that's got me feeling like I really don't know that I even still want the damn shop after all this mess. I kind of don't want to deal with the headache ever again. Like, I am so mentally done with it, but I may feel differently when everything's cleared, so we'll see. I may change my mind. I talk big talk, but when it comes down to it, it is like 10 years of my life I threw at this thing to just throw it away because I'm like, fuck it. I feel like I would definitely regret that later, so I don't know. I may leave it in limbo on vacation mode even after everything's paid down and just see how I feel about things, or intermittently put it in vacation mode, take it off for like a couple weeks, let a few orders trickle in, put it back on vacation mode. I might do something like that. I don't know. I still haven't decided for sure what I'm doing there, but right now I just feel so much burnout with that seed where I'm just like, take it, I don't care. But I mean, preferably don't take all my money while you're at it, but, take the shop. If you want to suspend it, that's fine, but it would suck, 'cause it'd mean that if you get suspended off Etsy, it's not just your account, it's your whole IP address, so you can't not only make a new account, you also can't buy off Etsy if you get suspended, so that's like the one thing that makes me want to try to at least marginally be careful to not get suspended, if I can help it, so I don't know. It's a process, but that's about where I'm at right now. My anxiety is still sky high, which is why it's like 8 a.m. and I'm drinking. So, as you do. As you do. But at least I don't have to start till 11 today. So I'm like, fuck it. If I want to drink right now, it'll be worn off by the time I go. So, anyway. I also realize the irony that somebody's going to feel like they need to point out in the comments, but Jen, if you drink alcohol, it lowers your immune system. Yeah, I know. It's probably the worst thing I could be doing right now, but I'm having one. It's one exception. It's not like I've been doing it every day. One exception. Pretty sure I'll live. So, the anxiety's so bad that I had to do something just to take the edge off, because it's still at the point where I'm in fight or flight mode, like, ready to bail because I so am scared of it. Even though everyone has told me, yeah, no, you should definitely still go. Even my mom, nervous though she may be with her situation, and knowing mine as well, also told me to still go. So, I mean, that does kind of speak some volumes here, but I know, it's just, anxiety's a bitch, man. It is a fucking bitch. Usually when I have my panic attacks over stupid shit, it's over irrational things. But this one I feel like actually has some merit for once, so that's why I'm having such a hard time trying to grapple with it. Because I'm like, if it were totally bullshit nonsense, which, I've definitely dealt with some anxiety while working in that vein too, those I can generally talk myself down from and be fine. On shit like this, though, yeah, it's a lot harder. And I think more people know than want to let on about where he was and what he was no doubt exposed to. Because a lot of the coworkers yesterday were very quiet, of the only ones who did show up, which tells me some just failed and decided to not even risk it. But of the ones that did show up, they were very quiet, including the ones who are usually the chattiest of all. So I was like, oh boy. Definitely adding to my anxiety too. It's like, at least if they'd been talking like normal and carrying on as if everything were normal, I'd have a lot easier of a time treating things as normal as well. But because they're acting weird, it's just further making my anxiety skyrocket. I'm sweating right now because of the anxiety. Like, no fucking joke. Like, I just felt like a cold sweat breakout. Gross. But, yeah. It's a thing. And it's a thing that I'm trying to be brave and do the thing anyway through, and just hope that it doesn't come back to bite me in the ass for it, because it's one of those things where this is either the bravest I've possibly ever been, or it's the stupidest I've ever been. I'm not quite sure which it is right now. And it's that doubt that is totally making this that much worse. What keeps sliding down? I heard something slide. What slid? I think it's these. Did something else slide too? Maybe it was just these. Okay. But, yeah, let's scoot that around. But, I don't know. It's definitely hard to grapple with. I know I'm definitely not the only one in this boat right now, so it's not like a woe is me thing. This is just a, how the fuck do I mentally cope with this kind of thing? Because I am struggling hard. Not in a way where I think medication would help. I really don't think in this situation it would do a damn bit of good. Because if it were all just the irrational shit, yeah, maybe. But because there's some basis here with what it is, I don't feel like it would even touch it. I've been on medication for anxiety before. It didn't do shit for me. given the whole workplace thing involving drugs, and they could drug test you at any time, and you cannot have a positive, I'm like, so I can't use my edibles to try and grapple with this. My anxiety's kind of through the fucking roof right now, and I don't really know how to deal with it when it's one where there's actually some amount of actual risk involved in the thing. But I keep trying to remind myself of that quote about how bravery isn't not feeling scared, it's feeling scared but doing it anyway. So I'm trying to keep that quote in mind and to do the things anyway and to be brave, but it's hard. It's really, 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 really hard. And oh my god. I'm just like, please don't let this backfire on me. Please don't let me end up fucking dying over this. Like, please, it's not worth that. Like, having a job is not worth that. But at the same time, it's like, I know logically I'm probably worrying for nothing. Because as the assistant manager pointed out, this isn't the first time this has happened. And when it's happened in the past, nobody caught anything from it. And that she personally has worked in locations where there was an outbreak, and she was stuck working there every day for like a solid month, even with the person who actively had the thing. So, she didn't catch anything. Nobody else there caught the thing. So, there is that, but oh my god, it's still like a really, really, really uncomfy feeling, and I don't like it. But what can you do? What can you fucking do, right? So, it's kind of a mess. Part of me wishes I had not overheard what I overheard, because I'd probably be a lot better off mentally for it. But on the other hand, if I had not heard that, my anxiety would still be through the roof. It would just be assuming that it must be me, and that they must be, like, ready to put me on the chopping block because I suck or something. That is, like, the conclusion my brain would have absolutely jumped to had I not known what is actually going on. So, on one hand, I'm glad that I know. On the other hand, kind of wish I didn't. But I am grateful that I know. Especially so I can be extra, extra careful. So, it's a mixed fucking bag. So many things about this job are a mixed bag, but yeah, this one is testing me. I would like to pass that test, not fail, but it is definitely testing my anxiety to its limits. And I feel like it's definitely proof that I've done some amount of emotional growth since high school, because had something like this happened at that point, I would have been out of there, not turned back, and just dropped out. The end. Done. That would have been that. If this had been much of anything else prior to this job, I probably would have just bailed and not gone back to whatever it is. So the fact that I am still trying to be brave and tough it out and go anyway, I think it speaks to some kind of growth in some direction, some positive direction even, that I must be doing something at least marginally right and getting a little braver about the world. I don't know. I'd like to think so, though. But, I'm kind of just talking in circles now because I'm anxious, and I do that when I'm anxious, so. Anyway, that's it for this one. Yeah, hopefully I'll have better things to talk about in the next one, because this one, yeah, it kind of took a turn, but anyway. You know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you like me, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload. Leave comments down below. Have you been in a similar boat with this stupid virus and having to go to work anyway? What do you realistically think my risk is of catching it with this particular scenario? Let me know that, as well as anything else down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, till next time, bye-bye.